Hello everybody, my name is Horizon, and welcome back to Deck Profile December. Today we'll be doing Salamangreat. Great. Before the video starts, I want to ask you guys to click that like button and share it with your friends, but also hit that subscribe button because it would really help me. I do plan to try to hit 30 likes by the end of this year, and I hope we can do it with your help. So, enough of me rambling, let's get on with the video. For starters, I like to start with the monster effect, or at least the monsters. I like to start with the honorary Salamangreat, and that is Flame Buffalo, level 3 Cybers. Just everyone knows what he does. If he leaves the field, draw 2 cards. Next, starting with the Salamangreat cards, Gazelle, 2 Spinny, and 3 Foxy. A lot of people have been dropping Foxy to 2 just because they're playing a lot more hand traps. I'm playing a little bit more of a pure variant. For that reason, I am playing 3 copies because I'm not going to be whiffing as many times as my opponents will be. Next, I do play 1 copy of Foxer. It's really good for spell trap removal, and also the ability, if Foxy blows up something, she can revive herself. Then, where I diverge from most Salamangreat players, I play 2 copies of Falco. Overall, it's just really good. Next, then I play 2 copies of Jack Jaguar. This is also really good for its ability to recur, and most people do play 2 Jack Jaguar because Desires does hurt them, but in this build, I am not playing Desires. So, Foxer blows up cards, allows her to recover, play herself, or at least play herself when Foxy blows up something, Foxer respies. Falco allows me to just overall get my resources back, and I kind of like the grind game for that reason. And Jack Jaguar, we all know what Jack Jaguar does. He's just overall one of the best Salamangreats that ever came out. Next, 1 copy of Foul. It's really good. Just a free special. Next, Wolvie. Let me explain what Wolvie does for a moment. Wolvie is a level 4 Cybers monster that has the effect, if it's added from the graveyard to the hand, you can reveal it, add a fire monster from your grave to the hand. If it's special summoned from the grave, you can add a fire monster from the graveyard. This is overall just really good because I can use Sunlight Wolf to add it to the hand and then add the Gazelle, and so I don't have the restriction of being locked in where I can't special summon the girl from my hand if I special summon it from like the deck or something. Next, 2 copies of Mirror. He's overall just a really good extender, along with 2 copies of Mole. Overall really good extender, but also really good recover just because of its ability to be being Crusadia Reclusia or any Crusadia monster, along with a product average effect. It's just really good. Mirror having the Lilybell effect of when it's added to the hand, reveal a special summon, but also the ability to discard a special summon itself is still really good, and both of these effects are just ignition effects, or not ignition? I don't remember. They special themselves without starting a chain. So they're inherent summons. Next, 3 copies of the Honorary Salamangreat, but he is a Math Mech. I do play him in Math Mech, but Subtraction is really good. He's just a good extender, allows me to put more bodies on the board, and since he's a fire monster, I can use him for either link plays or even just sometimes XE plays. But I can't use him for XE plays because none of my XEs are Cypers. And moving on to the last monsters, Parallel XEs. This is just really good for rank 4 fodder, and overall just good for bodies. I did forget to do Ash Blossom, but no one cares about Ash Blossom, so we can move on with the spells. Moving on to spells, I do play 1 copy of Circle and 2 copies of Silent Mining. I don't play 2 copies of this. I wish I could. But overall, this is your ways to search Gazelle or any of your Salamangreats you can. I typically like to wait off before searching my Gazelle because most hand traps are prevalent these days, so you kind of want to wait. But if you have a bad hand, you're really going to have to search that Gazelle. Moving on to the Honorary Brick, the Salamangreat Sanctuary, but you can search Baitlinks, so it's not a problem. Fusion of Fire, my Super Poly target, and my 2 copies of Will of the Salamangreat. These is your Soul Charge, this is your Super Poly, and this is your field spell that everyone doesn't want to draw but wants to search. And lastly, for the spell lineup, 2 copies of Salamangreat Recursion. Recursion is just a way to recover or recur your monsters to the graveyard, all puns intended. So this just allows me to add 2 Salamangreats from the graveyard back to my hand, and then if it's popped while it's set, I can search any Salamangreat spell or trap, depending on what I want. And it doesn't have to be popped by opponent's card effect, you can pop it yourself, so if you use Rage, you can actually just destroy it, and it allows you to get your will or even your circle to get you more plays. But I do like this card a lot. Now, moving on to the traps. I play 1 copy of Roar, 2 copies of Rage, and 1 Salamangreat Gift. No one needs to read Gift. Trip Gaming said it was the best card in Salamangreat. I believe... No. I was playing this deck a lot before, but Gift is overall a really good card for its ability to pitch a Salamangreat from your hand and dump a Salamangreat, or if you control one that links something with itself, or the relink process, you can discard, draw 2 cards. So overall, since it's a continuous trap, it's going to keep getting you that advantage if your opponent doesn't pop it. Now, moving on to the extra deck, because mostly the main deck is complete, or at least the main deck is complete. So let's start off with the 3 Bailings. This is going to be your best monster, along with your second best monster, Sunlight Wolf. This allows you to recur your spells and traps and other stuff. Then 2 copies of Heat Leo, and then my win con, 2 copies of Pyro Phoenix. As you probably can see, this is more of a control build, so I'm typically going to be using Pyro Phoenix I'm going to keep looping Pyro Phoenix to blow up my opponent's board over and over again to keep getting that advantage, and so they can't grind, they can't get that advantage back. So the ability just to keep blowing up their field does help out a lot. Next, I do play Spice. That is a Fire Phoenix, Administer, and Hita. Hita is just really good. The turn parallel goes used into a fire monster, and then this is just really good because it only needs the Cyber's monsters, and so with that, it can also help with burn, with timing around as a process. Then 1 Violent Chimera, because if people super poly me, I can make this, or this is typically just a good way to OTK. And then moving on to the XZs, 1 Buduska, because it's really good, I don't play Dweller, and 1 of Long. This is basically your Mirage Dahlia replacement for now, until Mirage Dahlia hopefully comes back in the new January ban list, but it just allows me to keep Spinny from dying, or at least getting banished, because a lot of people are not caring about Spinny anymore, and I do actually still feel that combo with Salamangreat. I do realize I need to make Mirage Dahlia, but I can't because he's banned. So please, get on me, bring him back.